the other thing that we did at the David Project was we got sued.
By?
We got sued by the Islamic Society of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And the Islamic Society of Boston, you know, one day I was walking outside and I saw Boston Herald, front page of the Boston Herald, an article about a mammoth mosque going up in the black section of Boston, in Roxbury. And that this mosque, which is gorgeous, I mean, there are beautiful images of it's a beautiful building, is scheduled to be a $20 million mosque. We later found out that it was paid for by the Saudis,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And that the founders of the Islamic Society of Boston were, according to the Boston Herald and later Fox News,
Mm-hmm.
were connected to people who were connected to terrorism
Mm-hmm.
and hate speech. And when we reported this, when we tried to ask questions about this, we were sued. They sued us.
On what basis?
Well, they said defamation and conspiracy to prevent them from exercising their rights to prayer. That's what they sued us for.
Uh-huh.
That's what but actually, what they sued us for actually was to shut us up.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we have a document, because one of the good things, there's a lot of bad things about being sued, I'll tell you. But one of the good things about being sued is that you have a thing called discovery,
Mm-hmm.
where if, you know, are you accusing me of defamation, of saying false things? I have to see all of your records. I have to see,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I said the Saudis are paying for the mosque. Let's see your bank records. Maybe it's true. We, because of the work that our lawyers did, are sitting on 14 boxes of discovery. And one of the documents is an amazing document, and it's from it's an email from one of the Islamic Society fellows to another. It says, if you want them to stop reporting in the Globe, and not the Globe, the Fox News and the Boston Herald, sue them. Just sue them, because why? Because their lawyers will tell them, our lawyers told us, while you're being sued, don't talk about this, because judges don't like their cases heard
Right.
and judged in public.
In the press.
In the press. So the intent was to sue us, to keep us quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I can tell you, I mean, before we get deeper into this particular story about who these people are who have built the largest mosque in New England.
Is it finished? Is it
It's
completed?
about finished. I think they're $2 million shy, but they're using it already for certain functions.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We are a dot in a pattern. They're using, the radical Islam, which is the problem, is using American courts and American institutions just like they used our planes to attack us.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using our court system to attack us. There's a very famous case of American, I think it was an American airline or a U.S. airline plane.
Oh, the flying imam.
The flying imams case. So
It
listen.
just came in the news again.
Yes, yes. So the flying imams case, 6 or 7 people dressed in Islamic garb
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of strange noises, it seems, or at least to the people around them, before they got on a plane. I mean, they were praying in public. Okay, we're not used to that. Maybe it's just a matter of not used to. But they were saying things that worried the passengers. They get on the plane, and they don't sit next to each other. They sit all in different places, and each one of them asks for a seatbelt extender. Now, a seatbelt extender, and none of them are fat. So a seatbelt extender could be a weapon. You know, it's got a buckle. So some woman in the back of the plane writes a handwritten note to the stewardess,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the note. Hey, you know, I speak Arabic. I heard these people are saying strange things. I'm very worried about them. The marshals come on the plane, and they take the fellas off
Mm-hmm.
the plane. The Islamists sue the American Airlines, and they sue the passengers. So the passengers in America are told by the government, if you see anything suspicious, Tell us.
Right.
Well, now, if you tell them, you can get sued.
Right.
So it's a very, very bad thing. And again, it's for the reason of keeping people quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, you know, that case came out in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
However, people are concerned, and so suing people is a weapon. So let's go back to the beginning of the story. The problem is the American Muslim community. Well, actually, I want to actually show your viewers a clip of what's going on in Europe. Americans don't understand because they read the Boston Globe, and they don't get it. Americans don't understand what radical Islam has done to Europe. A couple of weeks ago, there was a demonstration in England, pro-Gaza, run mostly by the Muslim population in London, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are more people who go to mosque on a weekly basis in London than go to church. That I think the second most popular name of a baby boy is Muhammad in London. In London and in France and in Italy, there are no-go zones for the police, and you're going to see why in a second. So a few weeks ago, there was a demonstration, and someone videotaped it, and the police were humiliated by a mob of radicals. So we could see that.
Okay. Let's play that.
Run! Run! Run, you cowards! Run, you cowards! Kuffar! Run, you kuff! Run, you kuff! Allahu Akbar! MashaAllah! MashaAllah! Mar! Put it out!
They're yelling kufar at them. Kufar means infidel.
I see.
And there unfortunately are many more video clips of this. And Americans are completely unawares, mostly, for the most part, of the problem of the radicalization of Islam in Europe. So in America, so Islam in Europe is radicalized. America, we have a different story. In America, there are, I think, 2 million Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
The radicals want to tell you there's 6 million so they can get politicians' votes, but I think the Pew polls say about 2 million. The vast majority of these people are fine, wonderful, much better off than in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They're more educated than they are in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They are much less radical in their political opinions
Mm-hmm.
than the ones in Europe. They are not economically oppressed and on the lower rung. They're doing just as well as American families.
Mm-hmm.
There are stellar cases of Muslims being having made successes of themselves
Mm-hmm.
in everything from arts and sciences. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Right.
The problem is the radicalization of these people. That's the program of the radicals, is to radicalize and the moderate Muslim population. And if that happens here, we have a big problem. If that happens here, we have a big problem. And we can see it happening because the youth among them in the polls are starting to show more radical opinions than
Mm-hmm.
their parents.
Mm-hmm.
That is, how many people subscribe to suicide bombings, more now among the youth than ever before. How many people want to live separate from the American population, non-assimilated, more youth than ever before. And this is because of a program of radicalization.